Oh, what an intro.
God, I look so good. I love it. I love it.
Great, dude.
And I love you. Look like you're 19 years old.
That's right. That's how we stay.
You put a great picture of yourself.
Frank's got braids. Oh,
I had the braids going, and my beard was full color back then. That was like I think you know what? That was only
you made me use that picture.
That was only like 5 years ago. I think that picture 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, this is 97.9 Unity Radio and the best political talk show in the 508,
the only
in all of Central Massachusetts. Rebel Republic. You're either with us or you're against us. And sitting next to me, the voice of reason, he now will have cash to pay his bills and no longer will have to ask for joy or have joy of any kind.
If he wants Joy Taylor, I mean Joy.
He won't have to experience joy. Frank Cristiano.
I will have cash in my pocket that actually has value.
With value, yes.
Right.
Yes. And the greatest influencer of all, Coach Schuman, with 1.2 million subscribers on the Coach Schuman Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel. Smash that subscribe button. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
Do you send out Christmas cards to all 1.2 million subscribers, Dave?
No, I'll send them personal cameos.
Oh.
No. 10% of them are from India, so.
Did you fart?
I did not.
You might have.
No, I think I was telling you my dog dropped something around here.
Why would your dog do that to me?
It's because after seeing you, he'd crap right on you. You don't care.
That's disrespectful of your dog.
My dog's
do that.
My dog's liberal.
So there's a lot going on in this country as we make the transition to Donald J. Trump back to his home, to his office, to where he never should have left.
Yep.
And the biggest news that I couldn't believe was Biden pardoning prisoners from Guantanamo Bay. That to me is completely insane. Like you're at Guantanamo Bay, you're on an island. Like I think there's only 2 people in the history of the world that escaped from Guantanamo Bay, and we don't know if they survived, but they swam. You remember that? Wasn't that in like the 60s?
That's Alcatraz, and that's a movie with Clint Eastwood called Escape from Alcatraz. I mean, this is just, you can't make this stuff up.
It's the same thing.
You are so far from a political podcaster. It's not even funny.
It's the same thing. They're both maximum.
Have you seen the movie? The movie with Clint Eastwood when he's in Alcatraz?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
It's a great movie.
No, I just read the story about the guys who escaped and like tried to swim across or whatever. And they didn't know if they made it or not.
Remember when they nailed Pope Pius up on the cross? Oh, no, that was Jesus. Come on. That's Alcatraz.
Okay.
No one got away from Guantanamo Bay.
Well, what if they do?
Wow. They're locked in 24/7 security. No one gets away.
They could.
No.
They could.
No one.
Anything's possible.
No, nothing is possible.
They're political prisoners, most of them.
Oh, okay.
Terrorists.
So,
okay? I shouldn't say political prisoners. Terrorists.
Guantanamo Bay is terrorists. Alcatraz is not.
Alcatraz is murderers and killers.
Alcatraz is where Scott Peterson.
It's not even around. It's closed.
It's closed. Scott Peterson.
It's a tourist attraction.
No,
Scott Peterson. He's not there.
Yeah, he's in the high security prison. I thought he's in Alcatraz.
No, he's in,
they closed that years ago.
Why?
Because somebody swam away. They closed the whole thing up.
No, Scott
Peterson. It was like
in
Maine or something. I don't know.
Okay, well, the transfer of 11 Yemeni detainees being held at the U.S. Naval Base at Guantanamo Bay. Why would he do that?
Well, do you think, honest to God, it doesn't deviate from the liberals' policy. Their policies are totally like this. It's all of compassion, forgiving, and believing the views that most of this country don't even believe in.
But these people were captured after the September 11th attacks.
Sure.
So they've served 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So he
they
just
killed thousands of people.
Listen,
yeah. Why would you pardon them?
these because
You want to
it's
shove it up
Trump's a nut job. I mean, not Trump. Sorry, I love Trump. Biden's a nut job.
Biden wants to shove it up Trump's ass that much.
Well, that's what it is. And plus, again, they're pushing that liberal agenda all the way until the 20th.
Yep.
Anything that a bleeding heart liberal could throw up on the 20th will be thrown up on the 20th and stick to the wall.
So
if terrorists, did you discuss what terrorism isn't the big story of 2025?
Well, I mean, of course terrorism is, but I'm just asking. So what if I go down and I rob Burn Dairy and I get shot by a cop? Well, will they put up like monuments for me for being a hero?
No.
Okay.
No.
Or if I get tortured or something.
I already know what they'll say about you.
If there's police brutality,
they already have a monument for you. It's a turtle. That turtle over in Worcester.
The turtle guy.
Yeah.
Turtle Boy. I love Turtle Boy.
That's your monument.
Turtle Boy is the greatest blogger in Worcester history, and he is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. My dream is to be Turtle Boy. And if you watched his podcast, you would love him because he's hyper conservative. He's hyper conservative.
I would have. By the way, I would have loved to. I got to pull up some old film of you playing because I bet you're a very tenacious blocker.
I was a horrible player. I was terrible. I just would get in the way.
No,
I would either get in the way or I'd fall. I'd start fights with people.
Tenacious D.
Tenacious D. Oh yeah, I was watching School Rock the other day.
Yep, there you go.
I would get in fights or I'd fall on people.
Listen,
did you know Tenacious D? So you know his partner in Tenacious D, the other guy,
he dumped him. He had it out with him on the stage.
Oh, he did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
really?
That bald guy with the beard.
The bald guy with the beard is actually in School of Rock.
Is he really?
Yes, he's. I don't know if yeah. The only reason I am saying this is because I saw it the other day, so it's fresh in my mind. There's no way you would remember this, but they're in a cafeteria. He's one of the teachers. And
yeah. They were, and he was telling the joke to all the teachers around the table, right? Yeah, I saw that. So yeah, he was. So that was one of them. Yeah, I heard that they got into an argument on stage during one of their tour dates, and I don't know if they're working together at all or now, or just that he dumped him.
Wow,
dude, I like Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, but my point is Biden is making this transition completely miserable.
Well, why wouldn't he?
Well, don't you want the transition to Trump? Don't
wait. You're a Democrat. You've been fighting this guy for almost 10 years now.
Yeah, but you're ruining the whole country because of it.
You don't care about the country. You don't care about the country. You never cared about the country when you were in there. If you cared about the country, would the border be the way it was?
So then how does any Democrat ever expect to get elected again?
That's the problem.
This is how you're going out.
They are in disarray. They are in disarray right now. But if the Republicans don't get their shit together and vote as a united front to get all their policies passed, and they look weak at any point, that's where the opening is for a Democrat to come on and creep back in and get organized again. Right now, they're scrambling.
You think that the Republicans won't side with Trump on his policy?
I'm just saying right now.
Even the Speaker of the House stuff was like a little bit.
Right. And I know that's jockeying for position on what committee some of these Republicans can be on. But I'm looking at it as the track record has not been good when it's been an all Republican Congress. Right. The first 2 years in 16 to 18, it was an all Republican Congress, and they barely got anything passed. They got the tax. They had to get that tax break passed, or else it would look like they got nothing done.
Right.
Okay. But they were arguing amongst themselves in the beginning. But they were arguing the first time around because
what do they do all day? Just argue.
That's how they chisel in for positions to try to get power. Okay, and they're not going. Their vote is all they have.
Yeah.
If not, they have nothing.
Yes.
So the vote is going to allow them to get into power. It's going to allow them to put their foot in the door that they want to get into to make more wealth for themselves. Obviously, to maybe pass some bills to help some constituents. But I think that's far on the back burner for most of these people because they're all scumbags once they get there. They're corrupt when they get there. I'm sorry. Democrat, Republicans, they're all corrupt. The money's too big. The influence is too much. The power is too mighty.
But their salary isn't super high.
No,
at $130,000 a year, these guys are worth tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in the house.
Come out. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
That's what I don't get.
Right. Well, you don't get it. And it seems like we're all ignorant, or we all know what's going on. And we all know what's going on, but no one can do anything about it. They don't have any term limits set. They have no rules in Congress.
No.
They barely investigate. This, what was it, the Menendez, the senator from Jersey or whatever, he was there. He was being given gold by Kuwait or whatever, UAE.
They gave him gold?
Gave gold bars he had stored in his house for information. He was passing along. And then he was down in, I don't know, Honduras or whatever. He was with some girls down there. I mean, literally, it's in the government's face that these people are doing this. These representatives are doing this, and they do nothing about it.
Well, that's why I think that they should investigate Biden being in power in the first place. You don't think there's any reason to go back in time and investigate that all these people knew that he had dementia?
They're going to know about it. They're going to say, yes, everybody hit it. Everybody hit it.
So they'll go to jail.
Everybody hit it. Why go to jail?
I want Kamala in jail.
What happened in the country while Biden was incapacitated? The country still went on.
Not well.
How do you know? That's your opinion. We have the best economy in the world right now. Inflation is almost at its lowest point that it's been. But gas is at $3 now. Where was it? I mean, you're talking about every sticking point. They have something to say. Oh, well, it's much better now than what it was before.
Well, then they would have won the election.
You know why they didn't win the election?
They didn't win the election.
Okay, because they kept pounding over and over and over the fact that this is an election for democracy. Yeah, trying to save democracy.
Yeah. Right? Trump was Hitler. Instead
of like, listen, folks, we know prices are kind of high. We know everyone's suffering a little bit. We know it's hard to get along right now. We know fuel is very high for us. We know all these things cost a lot of money.
Life is high.
You can't get a house.
I can't live my life.
You can't get an apartment. Everything costs too much.
I can't drive.
We're going to change things around. We're going to help you. You know what? They didn't run on any of that.
No.
But Donald Trump did. And that's where he wins public safety.
He says what he does.
Who does not support public safety, for God's sakes?
Yeah, they want to defund the police.
But they didn't run on any of that. They ran on saving democracy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that was their plea.
People know.
Don't put this man in
People know we're not a democracy. We're not a democracy because if it was a democracy, everybody's voice would count.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay, so they knew what they were, and that's why maybe 53% of the country, 54% of the country voted for the GOP this time around. And that's why he had, it is a mandate. It is a mandate. Over 300 electoral votes.
It was huge.
He took every blue state possible that there was to take. He took. The people are dissatisfied with the job that has been done the last 4 years, and they wanted to change. And you know what? Everyone kept complaining about what happened in the first 4 years of Trump's presidency, but they were begging for him to come back and begging. That's why they pulled the lever for him. They're going to take the next 4 years and they're going to be happy with it as compared to what they would have to go through right now with another 4 years of a liberal administration.
That's if you say...
Are you frozen up there, Dave? I think you're frozen.
No, that's if you say...
Oh, there you are. No, you're up. I'm sorry. Holy Christ, you were still as a freaking log.
That's if you say the Republicans...
I was looking at something on my phone while you were debating.
Their agenda together and vote together.
Yeah, I got you.
Dave, what do you think? What do you think about all this? I mean, do you think
the Republicans, the part about the Republicans having to stick together, that part, or the agenda, which part, all of it?
You can speak on all of it. Yeah,
I think number one, the thing that we have to clean up is we've got to get rid of in our government hiring DEI.
Oh.
I think that's
going to be a tough one.
I think number two, we've got to get rid of my thing on immigration is we have to get a firm immigration policy, and we've got to be able to get what we want to be able to keep in the country and what we want not in the country. Meaning there are people that are here illegally that, are probably productive people that it's not worth trying to move them out. There are criminals that are a major issue around the country.
Yeah.
That's number two. Number three, I do think our ability to take a stand and figure out what we want to do with respect to, and this might go a little bit along the line with immigration, but rooting out terror cells and terrorism in the country and figuring out what is here and what isn't here. We've got to nail that. Number 4, I think financially, we have to figure out what we could do to help Americans with things like healthcare financially. I don't know the answer on this.
Inflation, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, the horrible killing that was done, I thought it was ridiculous. But it unfortunately brings to light a situation that is a problem, which is healthcare. Okay.
With the CEO. Yep.
Yeah, that should never be how you go about doing it. But there's something that these things have to be addressed. Number 5, we got to get rid of just frivolous spending on things
on
overseas.
Programs and stuff overseas.
I heard we're spending in 2 days. We spent 100x of what we're spending in Israel on a war that we are trying to probably get rid of terrorists.
The Hamas thing.
We're spending 100 times that in Ukraine in 2 days. The total amount. So
why are we even involved?
Well, look, in Israel, for the most part, we're probably giving money there. I'm sure we are.
No, I know we are to Israel.
But Biden's giving the minimum because the Israelis basically, if you let the Israelis do it, they would just wipe them all off. Out of there. So
he told
they're not going to let him do it. But Israelis could go wipe everything, out as long as we just provide them with support. But the Ukraine thing is an issue because it's all an issue. I think Trump would end all of this stuff pretty quickly.
Why is Ukraine an issue?
Ukraine's an issue because we're spending to provide money to the Ukrainian people who are in desperate need, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're not providing that to our American citizens. You know,
we don't do it for our own people.
We're providing aid to Ukrainians.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't help them. We don't want to be, but what is the end game with this war with Russia? I need to know what the end game is.
Where's the rest of NATO providing money?
They're doing nothing.
United Nations.
Where's the rest of the free countries in this world?
Does England do that?
Providing money.
Does England give money to Ukraine?
I think
anybody else's is probably England, and that's it.
Yeah,
and the amounts. I mean, please tell me what the amounts are. They've got to be nothing compared to what the U.S. shells out.
And why do we care so much?
Well, you want to be able to defeat the Soviet Union.
Yeah,
you want to be able to weaken and cripple.
I thought they're not the Soviet Union anymore.
Well, Russia. We'll say Russia. They're Russia. That's fine. But they've already annexed half of the territory that they left go.
Hello.
But bottom line, you want to be able to weaken Russia.
Cutler, who'd you vote for?
He's not going to tell you.
Why won't he tell me?
He's not going to tell you.
Cutler, I'm going to get it out of you one way or another. I'm going to waterboard you.
You need to weaken Russia, right? To keep America's dominance, to keep a hold on Putin, who has a lot of aspirations about taking over a lot of different territories around him to reclaim what was the Soviet Union. So I understand that in a way. But bottom line...
Oh, you think he's trying to reclaim the territories around him?
Sure he is. That's why he's in Ukraine.
For the former Soviet Union.
That's why he's in Ukraine. Why wouldn't he?
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
But bottom line right now, I think we're missing the point. I think to Dave's angle is totally correct. We're not helping our own citizens first.
No.
If you can't help you can't help anyone else until you help yourself first.
Correct.
Until you're settled. We have so many issues inside this country of where we're going to lose. We've already lost the feeling of being American. There's probably 30% of this country that doesn't want to be in this country anymore.
The nationalism is gone.
Yes. The nationalism is gone, right? Yes. And it's gone because people are in a sense of futility. When you can't pay your bills,
the cost of living, you can't live your life.
You can't clothe your kids. You can't get proper medical care, right? Schooling, whatever it may be, in your own country. You want to look elsewhere. You'll be disgusted with this country. And that's really what's happening right now. And so how to tackle that? I mean, that's a multi-angled kind of approach that this administration has to take. I think obviously one step at a time is there's only a couple ways to be able to lower inflation. Okay, one of them is we talked about it a bunch of times, is energy costs. So if we can get those,
but Biden stopped the drilling. I thought.
I understand, but I think another presidential mandate can maybe wipe that one out. Who knows? I don't know what the rules are as far as governmental mandates and governmental declarations.
Well, yeah, they can rewrite the law.
Right.
Yeah.
So my thing is right now, if they can reduce the cost of energy across the board, prices of everything will come down. Everything from food to travel to housing to how you heat your home. Everything.
So energy, yeah, okay. So you're not just talking gas.
That's one of the only ways to be able to tackle it. Okay, to tackle inflation. After that, your guess is as good as mine as how to bring the cost of living down more, right? Because
right.
when you raise the minimum wage across this country, and yes, I know the national minimum is $7.25 an hour, which is a joke. But bottom line,
nobody pays that.
No, you can't find employees unless you're paying them $15 an hour, unless you're paying them $18 an hour, unless you're paying in California, paying them $21 an hour. You can't find employees at that. When the pay scale rises that quickly, companies have no choice but to raise their prices of their product to stay at just the same profit level they were.
So, Dave, like when you were running your camps and really in the heat of your business, were you paying your coaches on an hourly scale or just the day-by-day camp
per event
scale? Per event. What would you say it came out to hourly?
I would say probably around 40 or 50 an hour. Pretty high.
That's pretty high.
Oh, yeah, wow. So they'd get $100, $150 a day?
More than that. So they would be working usually 2-3 hour camps or whatever.
Yeah.
And that would be
wow.
They would probably get I would say between 200 and depending on I had levels. Like I had experience. Some guys were as high as 300. So
and they would also get meals, right? And sometimes housing.
So when we travel, so like our thing evolved.
Did you get them prostitutes too, Dave?
I didn't get them. I didn't get them anything. What they did on their own was none of my business.
It was 3 o'clock.
If you got them housing. Come on.
You see me get all red right away,
all over the country. So I assume you get local coaches.
It kind of evolved. The easiest way to explain it is, in the beginning, I had a couple teams that traveled everywhere, and then we trained guys, and then we got more people locally. We also used to run them for 3 days,
right?
And so there was a lot more, a lot of money.
Were they overnight?
We would be, So at first we were 1 day in and out. We'd fly to the next place the next day. That was actually the best way of doing it.
That is the best way of doing it. Yeah.
We ended up then getting so big that we were doing like 2 days of camps in one location, and it was just a monster. You know what I'm saying? So
holy crap! So how many coaches would be employed?
It's like anything, and then other people copied, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's what happened, right?
But yeah, I mean, we used to spend a lot in the beginning. Like we didn't,
that's a good payday. I mean, $200.
They would do pretty well. The guys who traveled, if they went like from somewhere,
I'm sure you didn't travel.
They were making like. For 3 days, they were making like $250 a day, like $500 they make for the weekend.
I'm sure though you only traveled a small group and then probably used local coaches wherever you went.
In the beginning, that's what we did. Then all of a sudden grew so fast that we were like traveling like multiple teams, which was a mistake in retrospect. You know what I mean? After there was no blueprint, so I was making it up on the fly.
Was it just because you were drawing so well?
That sounds like the Biden administration. There's no blueprint. I'm just making it up on the fly.
Similar.
Right.
Was it just because you were drawing so well at all these places?
Yeah, we were drawing so well. My whole thing, like this, I mean, you're going back. Like my whole thing was to corner the market. and to like get so big that no one could compete.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know
You want to be like the Nike Elite Camp.
we were way more than they were, and the Nike Elite Camp would run 30 camps, 25 camps at their peak. We were running 100.
Jesus.
Yeah, we crushed the numbers that they had.
From May to August?
No, from February. We used to go out the second weekend in February. We would be gone. I think Houston used to be like our first. I think Houston and we would go to Houston and then Baton Rouge Part 1, and then come back again later on in the year. And
so
how does February to July to the end of July?
How does inflation hit this then?
That's what I was going to say. As Frank was saying, cost of living. So the rental of the field and paying the coaches.
So how did inflation affect that?
Yeah.
Inflation didn't affect the you couldn't charge more, but everything else cost more.
Exactly.
That's how inflation affected it.
Insurance.
I couldn't charge. We got up to $99. I mean, that was it, dude. That was the most. Originally, we were 60. I could only go up $39 in 15 years.
Right.
I
mean, think about that. Meanwhile, the cost of flights probably doubled. The hotel cost probably up 30-40%. Food cost doubled. So, I mean, there's nowhere to make money.
Yeah, if you want to work for somebody else, then you're doing a great job. If not, you want to try to make a profit, put something in your pocket. There's nothing there.
There's nothing for the owner.
Right. Well, yeah, that's why.
This is the thing that everyone in business, the issue that everyone thinks in business, that it's like financial services. Okay. You're taking, someone's giving you $1 million. You're taking 1.5 or 2% of that money, like a fund manager. And that's a huge amount of money, and your overhead's very little, right? You guys, no, man, that's not how it works for most businesses. You go build even if you build like a Tesla, okay, eventually the costs start to get higher, and that's the problem with inflation. So, I mean, look at the trucks. They're like, I have to get myself a new car. I gotta get a truck, and the trucks they were trying to charge you above MSRP at the peak of all this. Now they can't even move them, dude. They can't move the trucks.
Right.
What's
MSRP? Go to your Ford dealer. Go to your GMC dealer. You fill out a form online. They're gonna call you every day, twice a day, to see if you're gonna buy a truck.
How much do you have to put down on it?
Well, it depends on what the truck is. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying. You're probably, and they're not even there yet because they're still charging MSRP. Wait 6 months. They're going to be skyrocketing. They won't not be able to move cars, dude.
So eventually you came to a point where you said that it's no longer worth it.
Can't do it. The margins were getting cut.
And your profit wasn't worth it to do it.
And that's where you eliminate. That's where you eliminate the small businessman.
Yes.
You eliminate them because you know what? Amazon could do that.
Yeah.
Amazon could do 1 million camps and absorb any kind of loss.
Right.
Correct.
All these big companies. So bottom line, after a while,
colleges. That's what the colleges did to me.
Right.
No, they did. Everyone went to the 1-day camp model. They charge $100 a day.
1,000 kids show up.
Yeah, they do.
They don't care if they make money. They just want recruits.
Right. No, we cared if we made money because that's
where I know the coaches want the cash. But I'm saying the head coach really doesn't care. They want the recruits on campus. And what happens is now people don't come to the other camps where we're working hard to get their name out there. Now the college coaches host the camp. They don't give a shit. They're not recruiting any of those kids anyway.
But did you have
any of them?
But did you have college coaches working at your camps?
No, you could because where the time frame is when it is. They're not allowed to go off campus, right?
Right. Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
Yeah, you just can't.
Kids think they're going to go to college camp. It's a fraud.
No, I mean, we offered the majority of our kids based off of the college camp.
How many years ago were you a college coach?
This is 2018.
Okay, it's changed dramatically. You go to a college camp now, you are not getting recruited unless you run a 4.4.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because you're right. Because the majority of the best players wouldn't go to your camp if you wanted them. The best players didn't go to your camp.
The best players ain't going to a camp.
No.
Period.
No, they don't need to.
You have to pay them to come to your campus.
You're right. Wow.
If you're Rutgers, let's say Steve Cully, top lineman in the Northeast, 15 offers, or on his way to 5 offers. Everyone knows he's going to be 15 offers.
They'll pay you to come to visit their campus?
If I haven't offered him and they're going to have to pay you to get there. Wow. NIL money. I'm going to give you NIL money to come to my camp. They're not even going to work out at the camp. Come on. They're going to come. They're just going to show them around campus. They're going to pay you.
Right. I didn't know that. Because when I coached, the model was if they performed well at the one-day camp, we had a list of the top group.
FCS is a little different.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know. But we still had scholarships, and we would mark the kids that were scholarship level players in a different group. And then at the end, we would evaluate them and meet with them right after camp and offer them. So all our offers were out after the first month of June.
That sounds desperate.
But that's how it was done. Isn't that how it was done most places?
Yeah, back then, yes. For FCS, definitely. Here's and the thing that is different in the camp business that is really, really like a different thing. 7-on-7 is a big deal.
Yes, now it is. The satellite camps.
That's taking the place of camps in the spring. Most, other than a couple here and there. But the other thing that's changed dramatically is the high school player isn't getting recruited.
Not at all. No.
So they think they're going to go colleges say, come to camp, and we'll get a good look on you.
Yeah.
Knowing full well they are not going to recruit that kid. They know.
Well, I tried never to say it.
Well, even FCS now.
So it's just purely a moneymaker. It's not for recruiting purposes.
I mean, I don't know how much money I'm sure they're giving the money to the assistants. I'm sure, right?
No, but I mean, for the kids coming, they're not getting offered.
No.
Wow.
If you go run a 4.4 to 4, hey, listen. If I was running Rutgers camp, here's what I would do. I wouldn't even the rest is window dressing. I get it. You got to have them do all the shit, Yeah,
right. You got to burn the time. Yeah.
Go run the 40-yard dash.
Yeah, you do the combine stuff.
Come out of there with 10 kids that you haven't been recruiting that you're like, maybe, a lineman that ran faster, whatever your parameters are. Okay, let's look at these 10 kids work out. Bring them over here. Let's put them through drills.
Right.
Let's see them work out. One or two of them maybe can get an offer. Maybe. But that's it. All the other 500 kids are just running around.
No, I know they are. I know they are. The kids that would come to your camp were awful, and they were just desperate, and they're wanted
fucking awful.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like what happened today in Congress when Kamala Harris had to stand up and declare the 312 electoral votes for President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, and then had to log in 226 votes for herself,
right,
and for Tim Walz,
right.
So in other words, she knew where she was going. She had to pay the visit, but bottom line, she was never going to be elected president of the United States. But she had to declare herself as the runner-up.
Now, my father said this, and I wanted your opinion. He claims that Tim Walz lost the election for Kamala. He said that his debate was awful. He came off very awkward and uncomfortable and unlikable, and that J.D. Vance was much better. Do you agree with that?
No.
No.
Okay. I would agree. I'm in the camp that he did not help the situation whatsoever.
But you don't think it made that much of a difference?
I don't think it made that much of a difference. I think bottom line, you weren't voting for Tim Walz, you weren't voting for J.D. Vance, you were voting for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump.
Right.
I agree.
So I think what obviously hurt, like I said earlier on with the Democrats, is they had nothing, no platform to run on,
right?
Except we're all happy, we're all hugs and kisses,
yes,
and we're all
we love you,
and we're all trying to save democracy,
and we're giving money to everyone. We're going to help everyone, and
they don't even know what they're giving money.
Save Africa and Zimbabwe.
No. They were just trying to save democracy.
Right.
That's what they ran on. After a while, it almost got
ridiculous.
Sickening.
Yes.
Because, I mean, we know we're not a democracy in a way, but I'm looking around, there's other people looking around like, ain't nobody persecuting us.
No.
We're okay here in this country. We have a vote. We do have a say. Well, how small it is or how large it is all depends. But bottom line, they were just manufacturing.
They didn't have an answer.
They were manufacturing
they created one.
Well, they didn't know how to attack Donald Trump. The only way to attack Donald Trump
sue him or impeach him.
They tried that. That was the 2-year lead up. You got to realize all these lawsuits were planned.
Holy crap!
All these lawsuits were planned, coordinated by
to keep them off the ballot.
The Democratic National Committee.
Yeah,
the DNC
to keep him off the ballot.
Wanted to make him look as bad as possible leading up into the debates and into a possible election. They never thought he would even be picked.
Well, they went so far as to try to not allow him to be on the ballot in certain states.
Correct. And
which is absurd.
Again, these are all coordinated. If people don't tie connect the dots on everything that occurred up to the election.
Who's the mastermind that connects the dots?
Well, the mastermind that connects
for the DNC that had all these ideas that said we're going to screw the.
No, I'm sure there's a think tank of 5 or 6 people that they all trust. Starting with Barack Obama.
You really think Obama's behind it all?
Assisted by Nancy Pelosi. Debbie Wasserman Schultz always has something to say because she was the DNC party leader for a while. Who else would be
Michelle? You think of Michelle?
Nah, I don't think as much Michelle. Michelle just go along with whatever Barack says. It doesn't matter.
But you think Barack still has that much power?
I thought he had probably total
this
control
many years later.
Probably total control of what's going on.
Okay.
You have to realize he's he's still the most respected member of the Democratic Party since Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
he's the most charismatic. Yeah.
But you got to understand something. He's well liked in communities. He's well liked in this country. Even if you're a Republican, I thought he was a great speaker. Okay. I thought he made certain good points about certain things, but bottom line, behind the scenes, the plan was always to turn this country into a more socialist country.
Yes, communist. We're going to be communist.
You got to stop with the communists.
No, but that's what Turtle Boy says. Turtle Boy said that there's communists.
I'm just saying more of a socialist economy and a social
government
culture.
Dependent,
right? Because in that way, once the people are dependent on government, right? They expect a handout from government every year, else they can't function. Right. So if government withholds a handout, people will have to have that vote locked into wherever government wants it, right? And then they get it's Pavlov's dog. That's the reaction. So bottom line, I think that was the whole thing. But that think tank of the DNC is what controlled the actions of the DNC as far as from 2020 or 21 all the way up into now.
Right.
And it was a constant attack to chip down away at Trump. But what they realized is by trying to chip away at him, they made him stronger.
They did.
They made him more relevant.
Well,
they kept him in the news every day.
Assassination attempts.
Yeah, well, the assassination attempt, the 2 attempts. I mean, it's crazy. One right after another. I mean, the guy deflected a bullet. He took a bullet in the ear.
Yeah.
And people...
And he wanted to fight.
Made fun of him. People were like, that's a setup. That's a lie. That's ketchup on his ear. You know what I mean? They gave every possible excuse. Right. And because... You can't give the guy any credit, right?
No, they hate him.
Joe Biden called Trump supporters garbage.
Yeah,
right.
He did.
So he comes out in a garbage truck.
Yeah,
right. And right. I'm going to most likely on these airwaves on Rebel Republic within a few weeks, I will have the actual person who is in charge of that whole media program, right?
Yeah,
of creating the garbage situation, of working at McDonald's for a day. I'm going to have this guy on. He's
great.
Yeah, he's the head of media production for the Trump organization right now in the Trump presidency, and he's a local guy here. I'm going to have him on. I'm fighting really hard to get a hold of him, get him on here. But bottom line,
well, I want Joe Griffo.
Everything I can get Joe Griffo. Everything was tied into this, and so once it backfired on them, once they realized that people in this country are not, they keep saying we're dumb,
we're sheep.
Anyone that supports the Republicans are dumb. Right?
Yes.
But if you look at it on the other side, how can you say we're the wrong ones when you're seeing what's happening, the turnaround in 3.5 years in this country?
Yeah.
I mean, it's literal destruction of values, of core values, of security, of finance, of education. I mean, the bottom line, the breakdown, and people, see, the problem is they've been brainwashed. They think this is for the better. It is not. I don't care what anybody says. It's not. When you can't ride the subway in New York City, it ain't for the better.
No.
Right? It's not for the better.
No.
When you can't live near the border of Mexico and Texas because they're just streaming through your backyard, unchecked, unvetted, just walking the streets, that's not better.
No.
So where do these people come up with these ideas? They're paranoid. They're delusional. They're almost like they're taking psychedelic drugs, Dave. I think they're on drugs.
They're on shrooms.
When they're looking at this stuff and they're thinking it's better for us. It's a guy. They just had the article in New York City. Guy was arrested. 81 times he's been arrested.
Well, because they
on assault, on robbery,
they just keep releasing him,
and they just keep releasing him.
Yeah,
they just keep letting him go.
Yeah,
right. So after a while, it doesn't even sound. It's insanity. It's not sane anymore. If you back this, it's not sane.
It is.
So I'm hoping in 14 more days. And the other people I keep hating this. They keep saying, "Hey, what's Trump done for us? I haven't seen prices lowered yet. I haven't seen a treaty with motherfucker. He's not in yet. He's not in yet.
Haven't started yet.
He's not in yet. What can he do? I'll tell you what he did. I'll tell you what happened yesterday, Dave. Remember the president of Mexico 2 weeks ago saying we will not be intimidated by Donald Trump, claiming that he's going to place tariffs on Mexico if we don't take immigrants back, illegals back over the border, right? And then the female president of Mexico, and she staunchly stood there in front of the cameras. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Yesterday, she agreed. She agreed to Donald Trump that she will take illegals that are being returned from the U.S. back to Mexico, and she will take them all back and then put them under whatever federal laws are in place in Mexico. So, see, everyone, it's just like January 6th. Everyone talks a great game.
Yeah.
All these politicians
talk is cheap.
All these politicians on January 6th, 2021, excuse me.
Yeah.
They all talk a great game. And Nancy Pelosi ripping up the papers in the speech by Donald Trump, the State of the Union, and Hakeem Jeffries talking about this, and Adam Schiff looking like a moron over there, always and same with the Republican side. They're all fighting back and forth, and who's the guy in South Carolina there? Every time he talks,
he's awful.
I want to slap him in the face. I can't remember his damn name. The bottom line, January 6th happens.
Mitch McConnell?
No, Mitch is in Kentucky. It's
isn't Mitch?
It's the Republican, the gay guy. He's in the closet. He never comes out. He's a senator from South Carolina. Lindsey Graham.
Oh, Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, okay. Lindsey Graham.
They're both.
Yeah, so and they're all talking, right? And they all talk shit, and they all against each other. And I'm standing up for this, and I'm fighting for this, and I'm for. All of a sudden, January 6th, a few people bust through the doors and start running around the hallways, and they are running for their lives.
Yeah,
scared shitless.
Yeah,
rats trying to run off the ship. Yeah, they were barricading themselves inside the rooms with desks and chairs. And oh my god, so.
What do we do?
That's the hypocrisy. Those are the people. Instead of coming out and facing the crowd, if you're a respected member, whatever, you're facing the crowd. You think someone's going to kill you?
I would give an answer.
If not, take it. Get up there and talk to those people and give them the information they want to hear. Stand up for yourself. But no, they hide, they cower, and those are the people that are making the decisions for 330 million Americans. That's our problem.
So. I remember when you moved Tony's to where it is now, a bigger location, a bigger space.
Yeah.
And you, at one point, had a lot of employees. didn't you have like 10 employees, 15 working in the afternoon at a time?
Where?
At your pizzeria.
The one here in the back?
Yes.
No, never.
What was the most that you had in like 2003, 2004, 2005?
6, 7.
6, 7
at a time, maybe 9 on the weekends.
What would you say you have now?
6, 7.
It's
maybe
so
9 on the weekends. No, it hasn't. I can't add to it. Maybe I've added one more.
Okay.
I do different. I can't add.
But
much
your
more
overhead is much more.
My payroll has doubled in 6 years.
That's what I was saying. Yes,
it's
That's
doubled.
crazy.
You know, so right. So I mean, if my payroll was $250,000, now it's $500,000 in 6 years.
Right.
I can't raise my prices 100%.
Right. To counteract
to cover any of that right there.
Right.
So where does the average person go? I mean, I'm buying products.
All the work for somebody else. That's what it is.
Right. That's what it is. People are better off. They're like, oh, I want to go in business for myself. You're better out. Listen, you get your weekends off. You're going to have your 401k. You're going to have to, if you're in that kind of a
you don't
job
have
setting.
the responsibility for other people.
Nothing. I can't call in. I'm not going to say, hey, Frank, this is Frank. I'm not coming in today. It doesn't work.
Well, I think you could, but you won't do it.
No, you can't.
I think Johnny could run.
You can't as a business owner. You can't leave your.
You're
your
always
place
there,
floating. Right. So
that's when they start robbing you.
Yeah, right. It's still a little bit of a cash business, although I do almost 80% of my business is in credit.
Well, I know.
That's great. That's great. You're almost better off. They really are.
You gotta go cashless.
Yeah.
That's what Fenway Park was cashless.
Cashless is horrible.
All these bars now are cashless.
It's horrible.
You cannot.
Well, because they don't want to. They don't want to deal with theft. That's why they're cashless.
Really?
Of course.
Yes.
They don't want to deal with theft.
You think people take cash from you
All the time.
Of course.
All the time.
all the time?
Sure.
People who work for you
Yeah.
take cash from you,
Absolutely.
steal from you.
If you want to call it that, or just borrowing, or just happen to fall something on the floor, or giving a food away.
You
to
gotta be
friends, or,
kidding me.
Sure it is.
Steve, we used to sell like gear at our events, and there's no doubt. And
It didn't add up.
And we'd have check-in where people used to do walk-ups and stuff. There's no doubt, like, if there was skimming going on. Like, I just, it's hard to know. You know,
Your
all
own
like the person who would sell my gear, she would just be like, I offered 10 or 20% discounts. Well, how do I know if she offered a discount or not?
Right. There's no documentation.
Well, you count the inventory you sold and the money that came in, doesn't it add up?
Then 20% of it was sold at a discount.
Right. So then now you don't really know.
Right.
Oh, so you don't know.
So if it's a $20 T-shirt, every $4 goes into her pocket.
So you don't know how she sold it. I get what you're saying.
Or if she gave them, so let's say the person gave 20% off. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's say they sold $1,000 worth for $800. She keeps $100. She gave a 10% discount. How the hell am I gonna know?
Done.
And you
and then I'm still paying her on top of it, of course.
You don't know that happened.
I don't know. I just heard from other employees.
You don't know you don't know the matchstick game in the bar business? Used to have matchstick when matches were popular. Used to have matchstick, but you can put anything like that. You're going to ring out. What do you got? 2 drinks? Great. That's $20, right? So you take the $20 that they pay, and it's in cash. You hit the no sale button. You put the $20 in there. You put 2 matchsticks. Every matchstick equals $10. End of the night, you got 2 matchsticks. You can take $20 out of the register because you never rang it through.
Wow.
Listen,
have you caught?
Yes.
You've caught.
It's on camera. On camera, I caught someone reaching in, grabbing $5, put it in their pocket. Yes. It happens.
They know that you have cameras.
They don't care. Well, you can't watch cameras 24/7.
So how often do you go through your cameras?
Who knows? Just once a week for 20 minutes.
Oh, so okay.
You can't catch everything.
So you don't. It's not like you're watching.
Loss is part of the game, right? It's obviously part of this government's game.
It's called spillage.
We lose how many billions and billions of dollars that are just unaccounted for. What is
like Amazon builds loss into the sale price of their products.
Absolutely,
you're going to return some of it.
What did the Defense Department? They couldn't track like 300 billion or 200 billion. They lost like $200 billion. They can't. It's unaccounted for.
They can't account.
They can't account for it. They don't know how it got spent, but it got spent.
So how did you handle the situation when you saw someone take $5?
Fired them.
Right on the spot.
I pulled him in the office. I fired him.
Did you ask why?
No, I don't care why. Get out.
You don't care why?
Why do I care?
Well, I mean, he may have had a good reason. Or
I come in and I bang your wife. You're going to ask me why I did it? Tell me. I mean, answer the question.
I'd
you're
probably,
not.
I'd probably ask.
You're going to throw me out.
No, I'd punch you, but I'd want to know why.
Why?
How did this happen?
It doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter why.
So
she did it. The rules are the rules.
How did you hear rumors that this person was taking money?
No, I was actually in my office with one of my beer distributors, and he was saying, "Why are you watching film like that?" I'm sitting down talking to him as he's trying to get his beer order in with me, right? And I'm like, well, a lot of times I catch employees that are just stealing. I can see it as I'm talking to him. She's reaching into the register, putting $5 in her pocket.
But it was literally only $5.
$5.
Okay, so this happens. The beer distributor leaves.
Yeah.
You call her in.
Yeah.
And there's no conversation.
What conversation? I replayed her putting $5 in her pocket. I go, I got to let you go.
And that was it.
That's it. Get out.
Well, I think that's a lack of compassion and empathy.
Compassion and empathy.
I think
we give her a hug and give her $10 more.
Well, maybe she's got a baby at home that needs baby food.
Then ask me, and I'll give her money.
That's what I'm saying.
But you should
have asked. And it shouldn't be a one strike.
Maybe she had a cocaine problem and she needed money.
It shouldn't be one strike.
Sure it is.
There's 3.
This isn't baseball.
You don't give people chances.
What are you talking about? What?
If you steal, you're gone.
Exactly.
So
how can I trust you?
Stealing's a cardinal sin. There's no
absolutely
because you've lost total trust. I've lost total trust in you.
I made a mistake. It was an accident.
What accident? God. Your hand accidentally slipped into the register and pulled out $5 and accidentally put it in your pocket.
I was desperate.
Desperate for what?
I needed the money.
Then come and tell me.
Okay.
Well, then check yourself into rehab if you're desperate for that money.
Right.
Well, the reason you're doing it is if it's because you have a heroin problem or some sort of. I mean, that's the problem.
Listen, all you have in life is your handshake.
Your word.
That's all you have. That's all you have in life.
I agree.
So if you break it and they catch you break, if you don't listen, nobody catches you.
You just said I have to let you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I would have done like an exit interview, like HR and
exit interview.
Yeah.
You want me to exit her through the door and interview as I kick her out?
No, I would want to know. How long did this person work for you?
Probably 3 years.
3 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And you dismissed her.
And I trusted her. I trusted her that much. I trusted her with my registers that much.
Just like that, you dismissed her.
Absolutely.
Without a conversation.
What are you going to do? Give her a sandwich?
I'm just saying, maybe there's something going on in her life.
I don't care.
What if she said, Frank, my dad has cancer. I needed the money.
Why not come to me in the beginning?
I was afraid.
Afraid of what? You know me.
You'd say no.
I've taken care of you for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And again, this goes back to liberal logic. You're providing me with liberal logic. And that's why criminals are roaming the streets.
I'm not.
That's why no one's getting arrested. That's why places are burning down. That's why looting happens left and right. You can take up to $900 in apparel and walk out of the store and not be arrested, not go to jail. There is no bail anymore.
No, there's no
bond. There's no nothing.
You just get let back out.
You can assault officers and get off on a whim, right? Bottom line, the whole world has turned upside down in 3.5 years, and it's not for the better.
Dave, did you end up firing the girl who allegedly may have been stealing your
apparel? He didn't catch her.
But he kind of knew. Was there a conversation?
You can't, without proof, you can't kind of get rid of somebody.
No, but I'm asking if you had a conversation with her about it. Saying, hey, the numbers aren't adding up.
Hey, stop giving out discounts.
Yeah, Dave, I'm asking you. Like, did you ever have a conversation? You did fire her.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you give her an exit interview first before you fired her, Dave?
How did you end up catching her?
She was a little better looking. I would have.
How did you end up catching her?
That would have been an entrance interview, not an exit interview.
Multiple times in a row.
Enough things didn't add up, and enough people had seen it.
Oh, people actually saw it and told
Other
you.
guys that worked there. Now,
okay.
some of them were also protecting their ass because they were up to some things too. But that's how when you own a business, you get good at figuring out who's.
How could they be up to anything?
You learn how to use cheats and thieves to your advantage.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a rat. There's always a rat in the ship.
Yeah, but if a coach is working for you,
and that person's gone too, but they don't know it yet.
Right.
If a coach is working for you, and they already have a set pay scale, they can't steal from you.
They need more.
Right?
They need more.
No, but they can't get more.
Yes, they can.
So we would have teams. There would be walk-ups money. So we would have. If I saw them doctor up the walk-up sheets, gone.
Yeah.
So you're saying, as far as the numbers of people
they throw away the paper. I would have a card. So we used to have cards.
For each prospect. Yeah, for each kid.
Okay. But there were kids that walked up that weren't added to the list.
Right.
We didn't have their information, but I had their card. I would add it up.
And the numbers wouldn't add up because it was $99 or $60.
There's a prominent guy right now that does radio for somebody big time school that used to work for me that did it. And how did the conversation go? I'm not gonna be able to work with you anymore. That's it.
That's all you said.
Yeah.
You pulled them aside and said, "Hey, I got to talk."
It's not worth getting into what they know what they did.
Right.
Right.
Okay. You try to give them an opportunity, but they're not going to confess. You think people are going to be like, "Oh, you caught me." Yes.
Well, I'm saying if they apologize,
I'm so sorry. Throw their body on the sword.
I'm just saying, if they apologize,
so what?
Would that have made a difference?
The jail is full of people that are innocent.
I'm just asking if they apologize, would it have made a difference?
Here's Steve running a company, Dave. Here's Steve, okay? Catches someone stealing from him. Hey, would you like to sit down for a little espresso and a tiramisu?
No,
I'd like to talk over why my register was short $775 on your ship.
I'm just curious.
What's curious?
If they apologize to you,
what does it matter?
Would that have changed anything? If they said, Dave, you know what? I sincerely apologize. I made a mistake.
I'd be like, I respect you a lot more. You're still fired.
Right. Listen. If you have a hardship,
I'm not going to send you to jail.
If you got 3 kids and you can't feed them in hardship, take me to your house. I want to see it. If you're that
you would do that?
Sure, I would. If that's why you took $5, if that's why you needed $5, and I give her $500.
And sometimes, listen, the truth is, sometimes these kids are young kids that do stupid shit. Okay, yeah, right. I'm not saying they are lifetime criminals.
No, I get it. I get that.
An opportunity.
My woman was 38.
Well, that's different, obviously. but
young coaches, I get it. I get that part.
But like the lady who we had to get rid of was. She had, I'm now much older than she was, but she must have been in her 40s at the time.
And
I liked her a lot. I was always her biggest protector. Like, people were saying it was going on for a long time, but you know what? She brought me so much money that I was kind of like, you know what? If I
could live with it.
Great point. There was a guy in Albany, New York. He had a couple bars. He's from this area. I went out there to check it out. I was actually going to put a pizzeria bar in Albany. And he showed me his place. Yeah, Bomber's Burrito Bar he had a while ago. Oh. Great guy at Baumgartner. So we talked about how do you handle theft? Because his place is pretty big, and he had a couple bars in one location. He did burritos and everything. He had cameras. And he goes, listen, I expect theft.
I expect it?
Yes. Just that he builds it in, just like Amazon builds in their pricing.
Well, spillage, it's called. Yeah.
Well, but they expect it. You know you're going to lose X amount of dollars from theft.
How much percentage would you say?
Oh, I don't know about a percentage, but he knows he's going to lose X amount of dollars, whatever he had figured out in his head for his place.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
he expected it.
Yes, Steve, it's part of life.
It's part of life. Steal?
In New Jersey, listen, pizza places, by the way, are prime for it because
they're cash.
A lot of times there's cash. People are working
drugs out the back door.
They're working.
Well,
There's no
they
doubt.
do that. They do that as
and they're
twice
working the
sometimes.
register. They work the register. The person who works the register, you always got to be aware of. There's a guy that always wants to work the right. Always wants to take money.
Yes.
Are you serious?
No, listen,
They asked to work the
Why you
register.
always want to work the register?
Yep.
Why
Listen,
you want to work the oven?
the smartest pizzeria owners are the Greeks because it's all family. They got a family member on the register, family member greeting you in front. Everybody's watching everybody. There's no theft in any Greek pizzerias.
You could do that too. With you could put Sue on the register, couldn't you?
My wife ain't sitting on the register for 12 hours a day.
Oh,
Greeks got nothing going on. My wife's got shit going on.
You got the lady with the makeup at the register and the eyebrows.
Whatever. I don't know who that is, but okay, sure.
Dave, how much money the person that
I don't know the exact numbers,
but it was a lot, you would say. Because you said it was 60 to 90
it was
bucks
enough because we're running a lot of events. So you start doing the math.
Yeah. Listen,
wow.
Give me a political question here, will you? Let's talk politics.
No, I was inflation. That was inflation.
And by the way, then we had young guys that were taking they're running events for me. That were taking the walk-up money.
No, I'll ask you.
Now I knew on the walk-up money thing. This is interesting. Now I knew. Now, if nobody really pays in cash at events anymore. They pay it up front, or they don't even come.
Yeah, you pay before you come.
But back then, like the mid 2010s, up through the mid 2010s, I had like a number that I knew, like each location from past history, like there was a certain amount of walk-ons you would get. All of a sudden, it went from like, I don't know, 10 to 20 walk-ons in a weekend.
It drops
to like 2 or 3.
So you knew.
I looked at the year before. I'm like, wait a minute, same location. Okay, well, maybe it's going more digital, But then I would see places, locations that the coaches you knew were doing the right thing. They were still having 10 to 15. I'm like, okay, this isn't a shift among customers, it's a shift among this person who's running the event.
All right, so I'll ask you a political question.
Let me hit you with a political information bit. How about the corporate donations to Donald Trump's inauguration day? So he has, you can donate money for the inauguration on the 20th of January. Tim Cook of Apple, $1 million personal and $1 million from the company. Jeff Bezos.
Yep, I saw that.
Millions coming from the company. Mark Zuckerberg is coming $1 million, $2 million is actually coming from the company. I forget who else. I'm missing a few others, but right now
they're kissing the ring. That's what they're doing.
Well, you have to realize something. When you think politics or feelings drive political agendas, you are incorrect. It is always the almighty dollar.
No, everything's about money.
Always the almighty dollar drives political agenda. So when you're seeing all these people who talk shit about Trump, all of a sudden dumping millions of dollars in inauguration, because they're hoping for a nice corporate tax break as well.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about the almighty dollar.
All right, I'll ask my political question was about. I heard a rumor Trump wants to buy Greenland.
Yeah,
and Greenland is sick of being colonized by the Danish.
Is that what it is?
Do you think that would be a good move? Could we? I mean, we have Puerto Rico.
I don't think it'll ever happen. I think strategically,
is it expensive?
Strategically, it's a smart. Well, that's the whole thing. What are you going to?
What are you going to do there?
We're in a 36 trillion dollar deficit right now.
Yeah,
I don't think
we don't have the billions.
I don't think you need to throw another trillion to buy Greenland. Strategically,
you think it'd be a trillion?
I don't know. I have no idea. Strategically, it'd be a good move.
Well, to get closer to Russia.
Well, defensively, strategically, it'd be a good move. But if not, the territory is useless.
Yeah.
Besides that, so why waste the money on that? You don't need it.
Dave, I mean, what are your thoughts on Greenland?
I don't even know if this is a thing. So
no, they've been like Greenland wants us to buy them.
They want us to buy them.
They want Trump to buy them. Yeah.
What is there? 80,000 people that live there total.
They're sick of being colonized by the Danish, and they like Trump. They want to be part of like what we do with Puerto Rico.
Well, isn't Canada? Weren't they saying that Canada's going to become our state too?
51st state. Yeah, that's what Trump said.
Canada's not really a state.
I will take it all. We'll take Canada. We'll take Greenland.
How about the rejection again of socialism in Canada by the resignation of the Prime Minister Trudeau? Trudeau resigned today.
They were resigned. They were going to go to socialism.
Well, they already basically are a socialist country.
Right.
He resigned, dude, because he was there. And wasn't there? He accused Elon of meddling, or Elon's meddling in Germany.
Yeah.
Somewhere else,
everywhere. It's unbelievable.
France, Mercone, I think, complained about it.
Yeah,
he's just trying to cause trouble.
It has nothing to do with the liberal policies that have turned Canada into a dumpster fire over the last 8 years.
Well, Canada's just too big.
Canada's
it's a wasteland.
It's really not. No one lives in most of the places.
No, it's all empty.
It's 65 cents on the dollar. I think their dollar is worth right now. Okay, so the dollar has no worth. No one can buy a home or rent an apartment in Canada because the price is astronomical. It's something that you couldn't be able to afford. We think we can't afford it here in the U.S.
So
try buying one in Canada.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Toronto and Montreal, but not like
anywhere in Canada, anywhere across the board in Canada. Try buying a home. You can't. Yes, you can't, because the prices are inflated so high. Their money is worthless. The policies do not allow them to buy homes without a lot of hoops and regulations to jump through. So bottom line, they have that right there. The medical system. Everyone keeps saying, oh my God, the socialist medical system.
Yeah, 6 months before you see a doctor.
The medical system is awful. 6 months, a year, could be 18 months. There was a story of a woman who had to go in for a knee replacement, I think it was. And she had to wait for the knee replacement. Then she finally, her knee degenerated. She finally got in for the knee replacement, but then had to go in again because there was an infection. She had a staph infection in her knee. She couldn't be seen to be able to take care of that wound, an open wound, because they didn't stitch it properly too. That was the problem. They didn't stitch it properly. She couldn't be seen, so she had to wait 10 days in the hospital with an open wound. That's where she caught the infection. They ended up having to amputate her leg below the knee.
Yeah.
Okay. So now these are, and we have medical situations here in the States, so I'm not saying that at all. But when people
go to Wynn Hospital,
right? Well, when people tout one program over another without knowing the true facts. When they're saying it's free. It's free. Okay, great. It's free. But
in reality,
I'll give you a big pile of shit for free if you want to. That's basically a lot of times what you're getting. And how do I know this? I don't know this just by reading. I don't know this just by doing an investigation. I know this by having relatives on the Canadian side.
Yes.
And they tell me the horror
Italy
stories.
Too.
They tell me the horror stories of the medical system in Canada.
Yeah,
so when
awful.
people tout that, they're full of shit.
Dave, what kind of government does Canada have?
Socialist.
They're just completely socialist. Okay.
I mean, I'm sure it's like one of these quasi
Democrat socialist.
Yeah.
Combos. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Well, this has been another spirited episode.
That's it. We just got started.
Well, we're over an hour. So
put it out right now. So what?
It's okay.
So let's go longer. Who cares?
What do you want to talk about?
I'd like to talk about politics. This is Rebel Republic.
Okay.
I'd like to give me some, throw some stuff at me. Throw some political stuff at me.
You want some political stuff thrown at you?
Frank, how about did you see the manifesto of the guy who blew
Vegas,
up the
in Vegas? Yeah. I did in a way. I guess he's a Trump supporter.
Yeah. So he.
Oh, Trudeau. Okay.
You know what you got to watch, and this would be good for I don't know, might not even be in the news next week. I'm sure it will still be. But Sean Ryan, you know who Sean Ryan is? He's a podcaster. He's a former Green Beret. He has like a big podcast.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know. I've seen him.
He's got like a bald head. He has
Yep.
And he interviewed a guy who runs this other thing and government like military watchdog kind of thing, and so this guy messaged him, and then he also messaged a bunch of other people. He messaged, it turned out, Sean Ryan also. He wanted to speak to someone before by December 31st to air his story, and he was a current, I think he was still active. I'm going to take my hat because I got a shadow here. Like still active military officer who military personnel who was, was struggling with PTSD and supposedly was involved in a thing where he kind of felt like he did something that wasn't moral, where they killed a lot of civilians,
Yeah.
So so we trying to get that story out, and then he believed that the whole drone thing was part of like this China, invasion conspiracy, which might be true, by the way. But
Sure.
so it was a whole bunch of things that he wanted basically get a wake up call to what's going on with military personnel and what's going on in America and all this kind of stuff. And that's why he did it. And that's why he did it in a but it's fascinating because Sean Ryan, after interviewing him, has gone on the ground for the last few days because he doesn't want. He feels like he's going to be
targeted.
Yeah.
I just these nothing adds up. So the Trump shooter in Butler, PA.
Oh, that thing's just.
Where's all the info on that?
We have nothing. There's no report.
That's the investigation they should open up. Who's hiding that ball yarn? Because bottom line, think of it.
The Secret Service.
What 20-year-old kid or however old he was, 20 or I think he's 20, has an encrypted phone that you can't get into. Has overseas accounts,
passports,
where money's being put in.
Believe
where how do we not have more information on this guy?
Because they just
because
the news cycle passed and
we don't have information on the terror. How about the terrorist attack in New Orleans? Number one, the incompetence of the chief of police, the incompetence of the mayor, the incompetence of the FBI. Can we please get rid of? All right, listen. First of all, you got to get rid of these DEI hires because they're terrible. Okay, yes. So they're it's like these terrorists just look around like, where's DEI hires? Attack there. Bottom line, this is an easy target right here.
Spin the wheel.
The FBI person comes out with, and I understand it's modern times and everyone, everyone's tatted up and everyone's got nose rings. I get it, but can we have some standards? Can the FBI person not, when they come in front of the public, can they take the nose ring out?
Right.
I'm not saying you can't wear the nose ring. I'm saying
she's undercover.
Yeah.
But what? So the thing was
a Palestinian.
Yes. The initial FBI agent that came out and made the first statement when all this happened in New Orleans was actually an assistant director down there. The director down in New Orleans was on vacation. So they brought her in. She ended up saying, this is not a terrorist threat or not a terrorist attack. Totally wrong.
Yes.
She blabbed. So right off the bat, incompetence, right off that top. The police chief comes in. So the police chief comes in. First of all, the way she looks does not instill any confidence in me that anything serious is happening in New Orleans, right? No. Number two, this was previously a woman who was chief of police in Oakland, California, that was fired and let go.
Seattle, I think, too.
Or Seattle, maybe.
Oh,
maybe
wow.
Two. And then she ended up getting picked up in New Orleans now. So you can see the liberal thought process along the West Coast is transferred down south. So she's in New Orleans. They ask her, well, what about these barriers that are supposed to be blocking the streets so traffic can't get in and out for security reasons? And she goes, I didn't even know we had those. Oh. Well, maybe they're not. And then they're saying that they weren't set up because they're there for maintenance. Maintenance. If you have to take out barriers for maintenance, wouldn't you have the new barriers ready to replace right away?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Well, the only back out part is incompetence is so high.
Well,
it's so high. Normally, I want to yell conspiracy.
Yeah.
But the level of incompetence is so high in so many of these places.
It's believable.
It makes inflation look like nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
It really does. Look, Biden, who's the president of the United States, spent his morning cursing at the reporters.
Oh, he's lost his mind.
I mean, I know he's kind of lost it.
He wears his diapers and
But I'm saying, how is anybody else?
He didn't get his insurance this morning.
When your leadership is so poor at the top.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
I mean, Kamala Harris is ridiculous.
She's
Biden
embarrassing.
is beyond ridiculous. AOC. I mean, I don't even know how people take her seriously. It's a joke. It's
Dave,
an absolute joke.
remember the stories that were going around the last 3 weeks that something big is happening. Something big is going to happen.
Yeah.
So they have promised us.
Yes.
The AOC and the Democratic Party and Adam Schiff, they have promised us that something will come out and that they will be able to revoke the votes given to Donald Trump.
And
right?
she's going to come into power.
Right.
Yes.
So, and Kamala Harris will be placed in as the victor in the electoral.
Yes.
Something big is happening. Something big is happening.
They're working on it. Yes.
Today, Adam Schiff came out in the morning and said, well, it looks like we're going to be confirming all the votes and acknowledging everything and turning over power and all that. And people online were in tears.
Yeah,
I believe it.
They cry
because they believe these idiots. They're like walking zombies, and they believe anything these people say to promote the hate that they have built up inside them that was pushed on them by media.
Oh, the media has been the worst.
You couldn't tell me all these people that hate Donald Trump right now and hate him to the death and are part of this resistance. 5, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, they knew nothing about Donald Trump. They knew nothing about Donald Trump 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Even when he was initially president, they knew nothing about him. But the media has fed everything that they wanted to feed these people to catch them like you would catch trout.
Well, it's like
upstream.
propaganda. It's just propaganda.
The
It's not propaganda.
Is, like Nancy Pelosi just separates herself from all of them. And all she does is just keep getting great returns in the stock market.
Yeah, she's
at like 51%. She's out. Her stock portfolio has beaten every
Dave,
other. I think there's one or something that
there's Warren Buffett, and then there's Nancy Pelosi just right below her. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Nancy Pelosi's like the greatest stock picker in history, other than Warren Buffett.
It's incredible.
Well, it's insider trading, though, isn't it?
Obviously.
Steve, you're a genius.
Yeah. Well, how does she get all the insider knowledge? People tell her?
She's on every freaking committee there is.
Oh.
She's in charge of everything. Everyone blabs whatever they need to blab to her.
So how do we get in on some insider trading?
You can actually do that. They have. You can run for office.
Do I have to go on Reddit?
No, you can go online. There's
Discord.
There are guys out there in the social world that actually sell you information
yes.
of trading purchases and sales by every politician.
Right.
And there's
really? Okay.
The success ratio.
Lenny Dykstra used to do that.
Right. Who buys it and when they buy it and when they sell it.
Right.
And they said the success rate is crazy. There are failures, but the success rate is crazy.
Lenny Dykstra was great at it for a while.
Yeah, he was until he lost his mind.
Yeah, he did. But again, this has been another spirited rebel republic. Dave and Frank, I'm just disappointed that you didn't have conversations with the people you fired. I would have just wanted an exit interview.
I want to preview the next few shows coming up. I'm gonna have a buddy of mine. We played ball together in college. He's retired from the Secret Service.
What about the guy from New York City?
He actually protected George Bush and Barack Obama. So I'm going to have him on. He'll give us a little perspective on security, a little perspective on being in that part of the world.
I got a healthcare guy too.
Healthcare guy.
Yeah, my doctor wants to come on.
I'm going to have Jimmy Fallon from Fox News and Fox.
He has committed.
Jimmy's. I've contacted him again. Jimmy is going to come on. He's got to find time. The problem is now he's in such high demand at that station. He actually sleeps sometimes in the Fox station.
Really?
After he does shows, because he's there day and night. He's always on call. He's a guy that they call in for quick 5-minute one-liners. So he's always there in a way. I'll have him on. And like I said early on in the show, I'm going to work on.
I'll get him logged in.
Jason Caporell is his name. He's in charge of Trump's.
I'm going to get Galini
production
too.
team.
We got to get Galini.
We can get politicians. I can ask Joe Griffo, Senator Griffo from.
No, we got to get Galini though.
Yeah, we can get
because he's a liberal.
We can get.
And people say that we're slanted because we don't.
We are slanted. You just said you're either with us or you're against us. So
but we have to give a liberal a voice and let them come on.
Yeah,
and explain themselves.
Yeah, of course.
And then we can yell at them and call them names and crucify them.
That sounds great. That works well.
So we just bring them. They can sit there and then they can talk their talk, and then we say you're a communist.
Well played, Steve.
Communist.
Well
communist.
Played. Yep. Yeah, communist.
And take some oranges and shove them up your ass.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So Dave,
I don't know how this goes. We're going in such a good political talk and regional that, and then we give him 2 minutes of mic time, and it's like diarrhea.
I wasn't diarrhea. I made good points. Dave, I'll see you Wednesday for Husky Hoops. And you're the next greatest influencer, and we're going to be at 2.2 million viewers by then, I assume, on Coach Schuman Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel.
You're going to get 1 million viewers
after this show. Yes,
after this show.
Yes, this show's been great.
Fantastic.
This show, when I put it on last week, got like 1.3 thousand views just on Facebook.
Who says 1.3 thousand? 1,300 views.
It shows you at the bottom.
Right, you got 1,300 views.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's great for one platform.
Right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's not bad.
It's amazing for one platform, and then on LinkedIn, and then on Twitter, like you wouldn't believe the number of views you get. And then on Spotify and Worcester, it's even better. So
beautiful.
That's why I say
Ernie uses this too.
No, he doesn't use the video.
Here's how many views Ernie when it goes on Ernie's show.
No, Ernie gets there. No, we get great viewership there.
3 views.
But Dave knows we've got.
What's the political talk show on Unity Radio?
Unity in the community.
That's political.
Yeah,
I thought they're just sitting around boosting the
no,
their community.
It's unity in the community.
Why can't we have on
a show off or
like one of the Dems from Unity in the community to come on?
Tim Murray would come on. Tim Murray, the former lieutenant governor who likes me, he would come on.
Oh, that'd be great. He's a Democrat, right?
I had him on before.
He sits in on Unity in the community.
No, he's come on my podcast.
No. I want
I said someone from Unity in the community.
Oh no, they won't come on here.
Why?
Because we're white.
That's not. I don't buy that. I don't buy that, dude.
Because we're too conservative and we're too white. No,
too white. How do they have the word unity in there? They're trying to
bring unity. I don't think this is true.
They like liberals, and they don't want to come. They don't want to talk to us.
That's not true.
Oh, okay,
get one of them on the phone.
I'll try. I get Tim Murray.
Tim Murray's not part of that. Tim Murray's some white guy who probably worked for the.
He was the lieutenant governor of Massachusetts.
Yeah, and he's white and he's not on Unity Community. I want one of those guys on Unity.
No,
Community.
he's on the Voice of Business because he works for the Chamber of Commerce now.
Is that Unity? Is that part of that station?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He's part of the station at least.
Yeah.
Voice of Business is on Unity in the Community, or is on Unity Radio.
97.5. Yes.
I don't like it.
Well, I don't care.
Yep.
So, for the voice of reason,
yes,
who's grumpy, and Dave Schuman, I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Is 97.9 Unity Radio. Ernie, we love you very much.
I just know where he is.
Ernie, we love you, but all
my
the guys
picture's not on the website.
All the guys in your radio show don't like white people.
And just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade.
Yeah.
Take 2 oranges and throw them up Frank's ass.
Yeah, throw them at white people.